So with resource garden, usually how we can tell that it's resource garden is that we have high value treats to the dog or high value items that the dog just basically becomes protective of in our presence. So it's more common to be things that are like a special treat, you know, that you give them like once a week or something. So it might be like a longer lasting chew that you give them. I've had it before where there was a dog that was resource guarding, but she only guarded deer legs. She would not guard anything else, any food, any other type of treat, just deer legs. The solution there was simply just don't feed her deer legs, because she never developed guarding for anything else except the deer legs. So that was a sort of open and shut case, because I didn't feel that we needed to go through all the training for one thing that we could avoid. But when it becomes multiple things, or in multiple cases, or where there's children involved, then we do need to go through it to make sure that actually she's just a little bit safer being around us. So first thing, try and get them not to bother her at all when she's having it, especially trying to grab it, because what we don't want is that eventually she will actually make contact when she snaps. We don't want that to happen. What you'll see probably is that she'll happily be chewing away on it, whatever, and then we might walk into the room or we might walk past her or something, and she freezes. So she might have been sort of happily chewing away, head moving, and then she just sort of freezes. She goes really stiff. The treat might still be in her mouth, but she's not chewing anymore. She's just really stiff. And then she's sort of side-eyeing you, looking at you walking past. She might start growling, and then she might do sort of like air snaps, like warning snaps. Like warning snaps if you got any closer. And like I say, obviously we don't want it then to escalate into an actual bite, but it can happen in these circumstances. Sometimes, because obviously I know you're saying about, you know, the kids are involved and things. It's like more about teaching them, okay, when she has something and she's just laid there minding her own business, you know, kind of just leave her to it, let her come to you, you know, all this kind of stuff. Easier said than done, but you know, that's kind of like the first thing that we need to sort of tell them. I'm actually not at home. I'm looking after a doggy. I will show you the doggy. She's asleep. Here she is. Here's Kenzie. She's not feeling too well because she's had a toe amputated. So I would have shown what to do with her. She doesn't have any resource garden issues. However, I could have shown you what it looked like with an actual dog. Instead, I'm just going to use a bowl and do what I would do with the dog. This is like the method that I tell everybody for problems with resource garden. If it ever happened with anything else, so obviously at the moment we're thinking about dealing with treats and guarding chews and things, but if it ever happened where she started then guarding shoes or the TV remote or something really ridiculous, there's like different things that we can do, because obviously it's a slightly different thing. We don't really want her to have it. Whereas what we want to try and do with this method that I'm going to show you is basically try and get her to understand that we're no longer a threat. So we're not actually going to try and take it off her, because that's what she's thinking. She's thinking, hold on a minute, I need to watch what you're doing because you might come over and grab that from me. So we need to stop trying to get it off her completely so that we can make her more comfortable with it. So right then, imagine this bowl is my dog. She's sat in the middle of the room and she's chewing her chew over there. I'm kind of ignoring her, So that's my dog, she's in the middle of the room. I've got some nice tasty treats. This is just Kenzie's kibble so that I can actually show you, but you might have some chicken, you might have some sausage, you might have some fishy treats or something like that. Something that's going to be quite high value to your dog that is just a small little treat. And what you're going to do, dog's over there, dog's got the chew, and everybody can do this. This is the beauty of this method, that it doesn't have to just be one person doing this sort of training. The kids can get involved too. We're going to sit around, you know, on the sofas, whatever. Luna might be in the middle of the room with her chew. She's just calmly sat, having a good chew. We're going to take our treats, I'm going to throw them over to her so they land quite close. What should happen is, here she is, she's heard the food. What's going to happen is, Luna should see that and eat it. And you're going to keep doing that. So obviously, we've got a nice piece of sausage, and we're going to throw it towards Luna. Whoops, that went too far. But you get the idea. You're going to throw it right over to her so it lands right near her, so that she doesn't really have to move to go and get it. She can quite easily just eat that while she's still got her food. Seems a little bit counterintuitive, I know, in terms of that we are sort of just throwing her treats. But the idea is she's going to start to realise we're giving her all these extra treats. You know, every person that's there, every member of the family, whatever, we're all throwing treats over there. We're not a threat anymore, we're giving her something else good, and you can build that up. So then, you know, you might start doing it where you're sat a little bit closer and then you're still throwing them, so that actually we can then start to walk past her and she doesn't feel threatened or anything. Here you go. And basically sort of slowly build that up. We still don't really get to the point that we then put our hands in and grab and take the treat away, but the idea is that we can quite happily walk around the dog, get up, sit down, you know, do whatever around her, and she does not feel threatened. She understands that we're just moving around. But like I say, one of the hardest things for you she's so cute. One of the hardest things is going to be actually getting the kids to understand not to you know, just sort of go in and grab, because that's going to sort of send you a couple of steps back, even if you've put all that hard work in with them. But hopefully it'll be a nice game for them. See who can throw the treats the closest to her. And you only need to do that for a couple of minutes while she's got that chew. But the idea is that eventually she starts to realise that we're not a threat. There is some science behind there, even though it looks a little bit like we're just throwing food everywhere. There is some science in there. She got a poorly foot. Hopefully that helps a little bit anyway. Obviously just message if you know, in a couple of weeks' time you've tried and it's not really getting any better.